general body meeting and last general body meeting of the semester. We'll do a quick icebreaker. I think we all know each other here, but that's okay. We'll just run through it really quick. If you could just say your name, major, your year, if you're involved in any ESW project teams. If you're not, that's fine. And then the question of the day is, what's your favorite holiday? So I'm Michaela. I'm a third-year civil engineering major. I'm not officially involved in any of the ESW project teams, but I do float around all of them. And my favorite holiday is probably the 4th of July.
My name is Megan. I am a third-year mechanical engineering student. I am the leader of the education team. And my favorite holiday, I like Thanksgiving because I like all the food. So I'm excited. I'll run down the list. Anna.
Hi guys, I'm Anna. I'm a third-year civil engineer.
Oh, I'm not muted. Sorry, we're in the same room.
Okay. Anyways, hi, I'm Anna. I'm a third-year civil engineer. I'm project leader for Bike Power, and my favorite holiday is Halloween.
Jessie.
Hi. Sorry about that. My name is Jessie. I'm majoring in civil engineering. I'm a third year. I'm not currently involved in any projects or teams. And my favorite holiday is Christmas, probably.
I love Christmas. Joshua.
Hey, I'm Josh. I'm a third-year civil. I'm not involved on any teams. And my favorite holiday is 4th of July.
Morgan.
My name is Morgan. I am a third-year civil engineer. I am on the Bike Power team, and my favorite holiday is also 4th of July.
What a 4th of July. We should have kept tally. William.
Howdy. My name's Will. I'm a third-year civil. I'm not involved in any of those teams. And my favorite holiday is Christmas.
And then I think we got everybody. Madelaine, if you would like to participate in our icebreaker, you can feel free to share your favorite holiday.
Sure. My name is Madelaine Braver, and my favorite holiday, I don't know, I think 4th of July sounds pretty good right about now. Be warm.
Wow.
Great.
I'm really outnumbered here. I'll turn it back over to you, Michaela.
All right, thank you. Thank you everyone for sharing. I'm going to go back to full screen. Okay. So if you have not yet, please connect with us on our various social media accounts. You can sign up for our Discord. That's where we do all of our short-term communication. We're very active on our Instagram page, and our LinkedIn is an excellent resource for finding co-ops. This is our last general body meeting of the semester, but you can find any of these if you're interested in these topics on our YouTube channel. And we do have some fall opportunities coming up. We have a Sustainable Essentials for College Students Night, and that's going to be tomorrow from 7 to 8 p.m. in the Student Union, room 335. The education team will be leading that. We will be doing thrift shopping this Saturday, November 20th. We're going to meet at 1 p.m. at the Village Discount Outlet in Cuyahoga Falls. And then after that, we will go to the Goodwill. And if you feel so inclined, you could fill out our semester survey to tell us how the officers did this semester serving you and ESW. A quick update. Thank you to everyone who supported the Chipotle fundraiser. It was pretty successful. And thank you to those of you that attended the Sustainability Showcase night. It was a really great evening, and we learned a lot about various topics. And we'll do a quick project team update. So Megan, if you want to give an education team update.
Yeah, so our last event is tomorrow. It's Sustainable Essentials for College Students. Basically, it's just how can you make some sustainable swaps or habits in your daily life as a college student, because a lot of times people will say, well, you could do this or that, but you're very limited on resources. So we kept that in mind making this presentation. There are prize baskets available by raffle, and there will be candy on the tables. So come see us tomorrow at 7. We won't have a meeting next week, and then if you'd like to get involved next semester, Thursday at 7 on our project team meetings are not Thursday. They're Monday. I don't know why it says Thursday. I apologize.
Monday is the essentials night.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Monday the 29th, thank you, Michaela, at 7 p.m. is our regular meeting. That will be the last meeting of the semester to talk about our game plan for the spring. So if you'd like to get involved, reach out to me. My email's right there. It's at the bottom of every email you get. We'll get you involved. So that's my spiel. Thanks.
The wind turbine team, Jacob is the project leader for that. He was unfortunately not able to make this meeting, but they are very close to the finish line. They have a good bit of the wind turbine actually built, so that's exciting, and hopefully there will be some pictures up on our Instagram of that soon. ZPP, I do not think Nor is here. She was going to try to log on, but they are also making tremendous strides. They actually just secured a grant this week, which is very, very exciting. So congrats to the ZPP team. And Bike Power, you can just talk through my microphone.
So, okay, so for those of you that don't know, Bike Power, we're using the pedals from a bike to essentially try to charge a phone. And we send in our list, and we're going to have all of our parts ordered by next semester. And I think we're in the process now. We're going to start, or I guess just talk about how we want to 3D print and design a couple of the parts that, that we didn't order. So yeah, that's it for me.
Thank you. All right. And then next, so in the spring, we're going to be hosting a very large event called Future Earth. It's going to be open to local middle schools. We are sending out an invitation to 20 different schools next week. We'll accept the first 10 that accept our invitation. So we do meet tomorrow at 2 p.m. if you're interested in being involved in this planning process. It's going to be a really fun and rewarding event for them. So stay tuned. And just coming up next, like I said, we have our sustainable essentials for college students, and then the thrifting. And so then without further ado, I'll introduce our speaker. So Madelaine Braver graduated from the College of Wooster in 2018 with her bachelor's in human environmental interaction. And then she received her law degree from Case Western Reserve in 2021 with a specialization in health law. And her focus was on data privacy and digital health landscape, and she currently works outside of Philadelphia doing corporate and real estate law. So Madelaine, I'll go ahead and stop sharing, and you can take it away.
All right. Okay, can you guys see my screen appropriately? Okay, great. Wow, I haven't used the presentation in a minute. Okay, my name is Madelaine. And Erin Keller, I've known Erin since she was in first grade probably, invited me to be here today. I did environmental science when I was an undergrad, and then I went to law school. So today I'm going to tell you about how lawsuits are brought on behalf of the environment and what that means. I will be requesting some participation if you don't mind. So also feel free to chime in at any point and ask a question, throw something in the chat. I would love to hear and see anything you have to say. Okay, so first, I can't see what you guys, are you guys seeing my whole screen? Or just the four corners of the slide?
We're seeing your whole screen.
Let's see. I feel like a bit of an old person. Slideshow. Play from current slide. Great. Okay. Can you see this now? Just the slide? Yep. Okay. Does anyone have anything to chime in about, what environmental law means to you?
Holding companies and people accountable for their environmental impact.
Love that. Yes. Does anyone have anything to add?
Making sure that like people living in like areas that are more impacted by environmental issues receive justice.
Yes. Also, yes. So environmental law is this like really big umbrella term. It includes things like regulating polluters, which pretty much always is going to be large companies. It's about protecting species of plants, animals, wildlife, and then of course humans and their habitat. And then it's also things that are like more practical. So applying for building permits, zoning permits, things like that. Those are also going to be that's also going to be covered by environmental law. Black's Law Dictionary is basically like, I don't know, like Wikipedia, or like it's a dictionary that's just of legal terms, but it's like the premier law dictionary that most people use, and they define it as the field of law dealing with the maintenance, protection, and preservation of the environment, including preventative measures and cleanup. Because most environmental litigation involves governmental agencies, it's pretty closely intertwined with administrative law. As a bit of a segue, just for a second, administrative law or admin law is basically a subset of federal law. So you have Congress, and Congress will pass a statute, which is an enabling statute. And that statute then allows them to create lots of different agencies. So the biggest one, the most important one relevant to this conversation is the EPA. So the EPA is the Environmental Protection Agency, which is an agency of the federal law. So it has powers that are similar to the federal government, but not exactly. We call that administrative law. What are some major environmental laws that you have heard of, that you know about? Just shout them out.
I don't know what it's called, but you can't like dump hazardous waste places, or you can't use water to like spray hazardous waste and not like pick it back up and get it out of the environment.
Yep. That probably doing that kind of action would probably fall under a couple of them, but the biggest one that comes to mind is like Superfund sites.
The Clean Water Act.
Yep. Anyone else have one? All right, we got a couple here. These are just some of the big federal ones. So earlier I was talking about enabling statutes. So the enabling act for the EPA was called the NEPA, which I'm pretty sure just stands for National Environmental Protection Act, which Congress passed to create the EPA. And then the rest of these, it's the National Environmental Policy Act. This one is the same as this one. The rest of these are acts that have been passed: Clean Air, Clean Water, Endangered Species Act, which is generally just shortened to ESA, and Superfund, which is basically like if you make a big mess, you got to clean it up. And if you don't, then Superfund, you get what's called a Superfund site, where the government cleans it up and nobody's happy. Is this blinking on the outside for you guys? I don't know. Okay, I had something blinking, but okay, cool. So who regulates and enforces these? We have lots of different people that regulate and enforce these depending on who passed the statute or the law. So on the smallest level, we have our local agencies. These are the local agencies is also where like you as college students and as individuals can make a big impact. So things like city planners, county council, your local zoning board. Then you get one step bigger, you have your state agencies. In Ohio, there's other ones too, but the two big ones in Ohio are the Department of Natural Resources and the Department of Development. Development would be like any type of building of any sort. So as engineers, it's more relevant to you, especially if you do like civil engineering. Federal agencies, you obviously have the EPA. You also have the U.S. Fish and Wildlife, Army Corps of Engineers. There's other agencies that would also regulate and enforce these environmental laws. And the other thing that we're going to talk a little bit about is citizens and like citizen activist groups. So places like the Sierra Club, any type of like environmental group can also enforce these laws through what's called citizen suit provisions. And basically these provisions are just a little line in the law that basically says, If the agency or person that is supposed to enforce these doesn't, then citizens can bring an action in the court. They can file a suit to enforce these laws. This is how you get any type of like big environmentalist case. They're usually brought under a citizen suit provision. So it's not the EPA suing Amazon.com for violating the Clean Water Act. It can be the Sierra Club under the EPA suing Amazon.com or whoever. And so to bring a federal claim under this like an environmental act or any other like agency covered action. So you could do this for like health, housing, other things. But first you have to file a notice of intent to sue. It's called an intent to file suit. That should be in quotation marks. You have to file an intent to file suit with the offender or offending agencies. In most environmental claims, it's going to be an offender. So it'll be a person or a company. You'll file, depending on the law, it'll be a different number of days, and you basically say, hey, you're dumping major, pollution into the river. You have, and it'll be dictated by the law, you have X number of days to clean it up before we sue you. And so generally companies are gonna try and basically clean up whatever they're doing just to get it out of the way. So if you give them a 60-day notice, generally these places will clean it up on day like 58 or 59. And if it's an agency, like you're saying, hey, EPA, you're not enforcing XYZ Act in this way, the EPA will probably try and clean it up. But if they don't, you will file a claim in your local federal court. If it's a federal law, if it's a state law or a local law, you would file it in your state or local court. But for the sake of today, we're going to talk about federal court. So the local federal court for Akron would be the Northern District of Ohio. And then if it was ever to get up to the Supreme Court, that would be through an appeals process. So whichever side loses would appeal to the Court of Appeals, so like the 5th District or whatever. And then if they lose in the 5th District, then they go up to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court can say, yes, we're going to hear your case, or no. However, the big thing that like 98% of environmental cases hinge on, especially at the federal Supreme Court level, is standing. Does anyone know what standing is in a lawsuit? Or
No.
no? Okay, so standing is basically you have to have standing to bring a case, which means you got to be the right person to bring the case. And person also means company. So companies have to have standing as well. So only parties that have an interest in the case can bring a lawsuit. So if you were to bring a lawsuit because someone broke your arm, and say like Mary broke her arm, I can't bring a lawsuit against the arm breaker. Only Mary can do it because Mary's the one who suffered the injury. So that idea applies to environmental lawsuits as well. Most injuries are going to be economic harms in non-environmental cases. It's easiest to prove economic harms. Person X did action 1, 2, and 3, causing me to lose X amount of dollars. However, it's really it doesn't really work in environmental cases because oftentimes doing the cheapest thing or the thing that economically harms no person or company is going to end up harming the environment, and there isn't really a dollar value that's easy to assign to that. So you can bring a non-economic harm claim as long as the plaintiff, so the person bringing the lawsuit, has been injured in fact. The injury must be, these were all decided in different lawsuits, it must be first concrete and particularized and actual or imminent. So you can't say, we see this in like global warming cases, you can't say if the globe continues to warm, then we will all burn up and die. Like that's hypothetical, it's not imminent, it's true, it's concrete, but it doesn't make all of these requirements, so those would be thrown out because you don't have the injury that is required for standing. there also must be a connection between the injury and the conduct complained of. So you can't sue just Joe Schmo down the street for global warming, because Joe Schmo probably didn't cause global warming. And the injury must be redressable. So if the plaintiff, the person bringing the claim, were to win, then the injury would have to be reversed or healed in some way. These are just 3 famous environmental cases. They all impacted the future of environmental law, kind of set some precedent, and they're all federal cases, and all 3 of them hinged on standing. So basically, when cases go up from your local federal court to the Court of Appeals to the Supreme Court, they can also go back down before you get a final answer, because as they go up, they are just going to get narrower and narrower and hinge on a certain little minute question as they go up, and then they'll come back down usually to get a final you win, you lose type thing. So the little minute question as it went up was about standing. Does the plaintiff, can they even bring it? Are they even allowed to? So therefore, standing is pretty much the most important thing when it comes to lawsuits. To file a lawsuit, you first have to give notice that you're going to file it, and then you can file suit in your federal court or the court that promulgated the law at heart. So there you go. Does anyone have any questions, comments, thoughts about bringing an environmental claim?
So I have a question. Like, I understand that in like really large cases, I forget what those are called, but it's always like the commercial, like, oh, if you or someone you know has like contact.
Class action.
Class action. Yeah. Thank you. I know that that's like a way that normal people can kind of get involved with like these large scale like lawsuits, but is there any other ways that like just us as normal people can make change and bring about like justice?
Yeah, totally. So the best way for like just you as like an individual to make change and to really have an impact and bring justice is those local cases. So around Akron, Summit County, Cuyahoga County, there's always going to be developers that are building things or encroaching upon green spaces and things like that. So you can get involved that way, and you can go to zoning meetings and things like that. In terms of bigger companies and holding large polluters accountable, that's a lot harder to do as an individual. Of course, you can always do things like, follow the Sierra Club, get their emails and things like that. And they might have different things you can do, like sign a petition, or just like straight up donate money, fundraise. But yeah, class actions aren't super common in environmental cases that I'm aware of. Those are usually like consumer-based cases, like if you bought a faulty medication, then you are entitled to whatever. Yeah, so it is a little bit tricky, and it can be a little disheartening too, because there is this like, really a big idea, you want to preserve the earth, but then like it just gets so detailed and into the minutia and like not really something you can do as an individual when it's into litigation. So I guess the other thing I would say is, write to companies that aren't doing as well as they could and encourage them to do better, and shop with your dollar and support companies that are environmentally responsible.
Follow-up question. Yeah. I know for a while there was a petition going around in the Akron area to save some green space. I don't remember exactly where it was. But do petitions like actually work?
Like, do they have any like legal value? Yeah. Generally no, but that doesn't mean that they don't have like any bite to them. They can have a lot of bite by, if you're in a city of, say 100,000 people and you get 3,000 signatures saying we don't want this shopping center, then you can often get the city to reconsider and stop doing things. But there's no, if you have a city of 100,000 and you get all 100,000 people to sign a petition, that still doesn't mean that the development has to stop. It just means that there's an economic incentive for the zoning board or whoever's in charge to listen to you if you have enough people on a petition.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Anybody else? All right.
If anyone has any questions, Madelaine, I don't know if you want to leave your email like in the chat.
So yeah, I can't get into the chat, so it's for like members only, but you can just type my email and it's mxb863@case.edu. And even if you just have questions about like going into law school or, you know, being a patent attorney, or you can email me or ask me other questions if you have them as well.
Yeah, and we will upload this to YouTube and send it out to our members as well. So hopefully some questions will come via email. But yeah, thank you very much for presenting. It is the week before Thanksgiving, so I know that we all have a lot of schoolwork, which
yeah,
probably why some people are asking questions. But I do appreciate it very much. And thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you.
Have a good one. You're welcome.
All right. Bye.
Bye.